If you have overstayed your visa and you want to know what your options are to get a green card resident status, and there's actually several options that is not necessarily only about getting married to a U.S. citizen. I know y'all hear that time and time again, but the other options are need the facts. It depends on your situation. Okay. So, one of the ones that is most common these days, especially with crime rates going up, okay, not a thumbs up, but going up, unfortunately, you really need to be cognizant and know of this option called U visa. U visa can, if the act is a crime, the first thing you want to think about is U visa. Okay, even if you don't know the letters or whatnot, that doesn't matter. The first thing, really, if there's a crime, you need to call 911. Okay, because for U visa, you need to show that to USCIS that you have cooperated, you have told the story, the real story, the truth to the police, and it could be the sheriff's department, it could be a constable, as long as it's a law enforcement agency. Okay, so U visa is option one if you've overstayed your visa. Another one that is related to marriage or even not just marriage, but it could be your child. If you've been abused, not necessarily by your spouse, but a child or even your parent. And yeah, it could be a child that's under 18, under 21. You would not have thought of that, right? But these days with what the heck's going on with TikTok and everything, some teenagers are a bit wild out there. I don't know why they think they can get viral. Being viral is like amazing. I don't understand how that's anyway, but that's something you can consider for U visa and VAWA. Okay, so those are two right now, but the person who abused you has to be a U.S. citizen or a resident for VAWA's purposes. Okay, now third one, that is if a child has been either abandoned, abused, or neglected, and that does by at least one parent. It doesn't have to be both parents, at least one of them. The other option is parole in place. So when the thing is, if you overstay your visa, you need to apply for a waiver. Okay, unless of course have a petition filed on your behalf by an immediate relative. But for many of y'all, you don't have a 21-year or older adult child, or you don't have a spouse as a U.S. citizen. So that's why I'm sharing these options. So you might actually have a solution, but you didn't know about it. So if you have a family member, what I was mentioning is military parole in place. Okay, typically that is for people who entered without a visa, so you can prevent having to go back. So the key thing here is not having to go back to your country of nationality for the interview. Okay, that's a key thing. So that's called military parole place. If you have a family member in the military, or not necessarily in right now, but no longer can be also considered reserve duty in the reserves. All right, so that's something to think about. So I know a lot of y'all stuck, and even asylum is one of those options, but of course not everyone's has a claim for asylum. And even if you thought about it now, you had to have filed it within 1 year of your legal entry, or 1 year of your entry in general into the United States. Okay. Another one, we talked about U visa, VAWA, special immigrant juvenile visa, and military parole in place. Now we're going to talk about the other one is T visa, trafficking visa. So most people think of trafficking visa as in smuggling, but it's not just smuggling. Okay, it actually includes labor trafficking, where you have not been paid your wages. You might think, well, don't all jobs pay people? Sometimes it tends to be one of those jobs that's under the table. Maybe someone's worked at a farm. Those are the main ones right there. There's so anyway, back to VAWA. Just some things I think about VAWA is that don't think it has to be only about physical abuse. It can be emotional abuse, non-physical abuse. Those count. Okay, so don't give up. There's and also if you're a victim of crime, you might think, well, on the police report, it doesn't say I'm the direct victim. So the U visa does actually include people who are what we call indirect victims. So maybe you didn't actually have a gun pointed at you, or you didn't physically have something stolen from your possession. But let's say you were at a convenience store and you were there present, you witnessed the situation, the crime happening, um, you're considered indirect victim. So that counts. All right. And also, if you're not even if you're at home, like it was one of your family members that got assaulted or at battery, you could be a family member, right? So you're as a family member, a direct nucleus of the family, you also can apply for U visa as well. So that leads all these different options lead to residency, but of course, as a separate application, every situation in terms of timing depends on that particular case. All right, folks. So that covers it for that main topic: how to get a green card. Other than trying to find the right fit,